We're only going to get gayer from today.
The court is saying to LGBT Indians, you are not alone.
It's Friday, September 7th. History owes an apology to the members of this community and their families. They were compelled to live a life of persecution. I am what I am, so take me as I am. In a triumph for individual liberties and civil rights, the Supreme Court, in a historic judgment, partially struck down Section 377, the law that criminalises homosexuality, underscoring that majoritarian views and popular morality cannot dictate constitutional rights. The Constitution Bench of the Apex Court, in a unanimous judgment, overturned the Supreme Court's own 2013 verdict, calling it retrograde. In 2013, a Supreme Court two-judge bench had, in a shocking judgment, recriminalised homosexuality, observing that the community was a minuscule minority that did not deserve its protection. In effect, overturning the progressive and historic ruling of the Delhi High Court in 2009 by a bench led by Justice A.P. Shah, which had read down Section 377. Quoting Leonard Cohen, Justice Chandrachud said, "The shadows of a receding past confront the quest of LGBTQ for fulfillment. Macaulay's legacy has continued to exist for nearly 68 years after we gave ourselves a liberal constitution. Gays and lesbians, transgenders and bisexuals continue to be denied a truly equal citizenship 7 decades after independence. Section 377 exacts conformity backed by the fear of penal reprisal." In a takedown of the homosexuality is against the order of nature argument, Justice Chandrachud said, "Who decides what is natural and what is unnatural? Can the state be allowed to decide? Denial of right to sexual orientation is denial of privacy rights. Courts have the task not to allow to push citizens' lives into obscurity because of some colonial law. They have been subjected to a culture of silence and into leading their lives in closeted invisibility. There must come a time when the constitutional guarantee of equality and inclusion will end the decades of discrimination practiced based on a majoritarian impulse of ascribed gender roles. That time is now. So the question that needs to be asked now, will it follow that the LGBTQ community will have the same civil rights? Will same-sex marriage be deemed legal? How will this affect the laws of inheritance? Given that personal laws of different religions govern these aspects of family matters, does it follow that personal laws will be amended? The centre, remember, had told the Supreme Court if it wanted to deal with any other aspect of civil rights other than decriminalising the sexual act, it would want to file a detailed affidavit for which wider discussions were necessary. The centre is perhaps apprehensive of how this will play out. In Thursday's historic judgment, an indication of how this will impact the civil rights of the community came from Justice Chandrachud, who said the LGBTQ have the right to constitutional equality in all its manifestations.
It is a massive time to celebrate. This is my husband and it's legal in his country. I want it to be legal in ours.
This win for human rights has been possible thanks to the decades-long work of scores of civil society members and lawyers. We spoke to one of them, lawyer Menka Guruswamy, who in this evocative statement summed up the struggle. How strongly must you love, knowing that you are unconvicted felons?
I think two very big takeaways. One, the court is saying to LGBT Indians, you are not alone. Your court stands with you, your constitution stands with you, your country stands with you. Wherever you are, big towns, small towns, rural India, urban India, so very, very big foundation. The court is also saying, I think, to the whole country that these are rights of equality, dignity, non-discrimination, liberty and life that extend to all citizens, including LGBT Indians.
Apart from Justice Chandrachud's reference to constitutional equality in all its manifestations, the judgment overall makes no mention of civil rights to follow, like same-sex marriage. Were you expecting more?
I'm very happy with the outcome today. I need to read the judgments carefully. I've not had a chance to read, as you know, that what was delivered in court by each of the justices were but a few paragraphs. I think we will read, we will reflect, but I am entirely very, very happy and very satisfied with today.
What role should the government play now in destigmatizing homosexuality? Because gay men and women in remote corners, despite today's judgment, will continue to face persecution.
They expect the government to sensitize the police. They expect the government to sensitize public servants. They expect psychologists to do their job when LGBT Indians come to them. So I think the court has very detailed directions, which I'm sure, the government is looking forward to following.
Not a battle, more like it was a movement of sorts, and we have certainly reached the pinnacle of it. But there are other peaks to conquer in the same line as well.
ऐतिहासिक है, ये बहुत ही सही बात है और हमारे दृष्टिकोण में इसका ये नई आज़ादी हो गई है.
पूरे देश की एक सोच में भी काफी तेजी से बदलाव आ रहा है.
For the first time, you don't feel like a criminal anymore. So, I guess that's amazing.
It is a move in the right direction, but there's still a long fight to fight. The social acceptance is a very big problem.
My partner went through a very harrowing experience some years back when he was sexually assaulted. He met someone through a gay dating app, and he was sexually assaulted. And the reason why he could not go to the police or go take any action against the perpetrators is because he was scared that he himself would be turned into a criminal. So now at least the 377 is gone. I am hopeful that if heavens forbid, if any such other incident happens with someone else from the LGBT community, they can now walk up to the police, they can walk up to the court and get the legal help that was denied to them till yesterday.
The Supreme Court has done what the political class has failed in doing. The onus is now on them to ensure the judgment is implemented in letter and spirit. As Justice Nair pointed out, it is for the government to disseminate the judgment and take action against prejudice, and government officials should receive sensitization. Or, in the words of Bob Dylan, "Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It will shake your windows and rattle your walls. The times, they are a-changing." See you Monday.